power. Keje inye lo. Lele banwe koe. Waranwe. Banwe koe. Waranwe. Banwe koe. Waranwe. Banwe koe. Waranwe. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Banwe koe. Waranwe. Banwe koe. Waranwe. Lele banwe koe. Waranwe. Banwe koe. Waranwe. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Eyi mo fe mo ni kun ma yole. Banu bayo ko. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Eyi mo fe mo ni kun ma yole. Banu bayo ko. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Lele banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Lele banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Echa esi echa gomo. Banu bayo ko. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Echa seke echa bling bling. Banu bayo ko. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Lele banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Yole mo fe mo ni kun ma yole. Banu bayo ko. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Mo fe mo ni kun ma yole. Banu bayo ko. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Lele banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Banwe ko. Waranwe. Walanu le eji. Banu bayo ko. Banu bawo wo keya. Banu bawo wo keya. Noa, Noa, Noa. Banu bawo wo keya. Watch Noa, Banu bawo wo keya. Banu bawo wo keya. Noa, 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 Noa. Banu bawo wo keya.
Banu bawo keya.
Lele Noa, obi wa ve twegbele.
Banu bawo keya.
Eyin wache Noa, Noa. Banu bawo wo keya. Banu bawo wo keya. Noa, Noa, Noa. Banu bawo wo keya. Lele Noa, obi wa fe twegbele. Banu bawo wo keya. Lele Noa, Noa, Banu bawo wo keya. Lele Noa, Noa, Banu bawo wo keya.
Ọjọ́ Yéṣu wẹ̀. Banu bawo keya. Banu bawo keya.
Eja keke Yoruba, Yesu,
Yéṣu.
Yesu, Banu bawo wo keya. Eyi wache Yesu we. Banu bawo wo keya. Banu bawo wo keya. Yesu, Yeshua, Banu bawo wo keya. Wache Yeshua, Banu bawo wo keya. Banu bawo wo keya. Yesu, Yesu, Yeshua, Yeshua. Banu bawo wo keya. Bewole ninge Yesu se ni manye. Mi be pale o. Yesu se ni manye. Mi be pale o. Ami le mi ge Yesu se ni manye. Mi be pale o. Yesu se ni manye. Mi be pale o.
Jésù sẹ́ni máa yẹ.
Mi be pale o. pale o amile mi be pale.
Empire o.
Oziala mi be pale o. Mi be pa. Amile mi be pa. Mi be pa. Amile mi be pale. Mi be pale o amile mi be pale o. Hallelujah mi be pale o. Mi be pa. Amile mi be pa. Mi be pa. Amile mi be pale, mi be pale, mi be pale. Mi be pale o, amile mi be pale o. Hallelujah, mi be pale o. Adaringe Yesu se ni maya. Mi be pale o. Yesu se ni maya.
Beautiful women. The mommy's boy.
Hello, Ma. Can you imagine the junk Dorcas made me for breakfast? Do you know the ratio of men to women in Ghana? It is 1 man to every 6 women.
The faithful married man.
This is your 40th birthday. You just need to let your hair down and have some fun.
I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you. I will not cheat on my wife.
The annoying ex-husband.
I want to see my son.
Elam is already in school. You'll see him over the weekend. Now go.
My wife here is a good cook.
Ex-wife.
You must be Elam's father.
ABN presents Escapade.
Next time you're sent on an adult job, drop your diapers and bring back an adult results.
Escapades. The real stories begins on Fifi Bunsen TV.
Hello and welcome to another beautiful edition of Unlimited Sports right here on Fifi Bunsen Television, right on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, or everywhere you can find us. All you need to do is to just download the app and just go to the YouTube channel, download it, and subscribe to the channel, and then you get the chance to watch all the conversations we put right here on Unlimited Sports. You can also get all the bites also on TikTok as we have our conversations. Well, today I'm speaking to somebody who I'm sure you know pretty well. He started from Tudu Mighty Jets. He played for Midland. He moved all the way. He was discovered by Hearts of Oak as well. As soon as he got into Hearts of Oak, he became Goal King. And then he moved into Saudi Arabia. He's played a couple of teams. He's played for Al Ittifaq. He's played for Club Africain. He played for Kelantan FC. He's played for Hoffenheim. But he was one of those early boys who went into Saudi Arabia. And today, look at what Saudi Arabia is doing with football. My guest in the studio, you call him the Prince of Goals. The Prince of Goals. Prince Tego is my guest. Prince, good to have you here.
Good to have you.
Kale, you are still looking like you can still play for Hearts of Oak.
It's by God's grace.
Can you still play a season?
Oh.
Or you have retired?
Right now, there. You know, we have two type of retiring. People do announce. People do. They just don't want to announce. You understand?
So yours is which one?
When we finish, we will talk.
So yours is the unannounced one.
Yeah,
but I want to register you for you to play one season for Hearts of Oak. Because I saw a little bit of what you did during the Bundesliga when Dortmund came to Ghana.
Okay.
You know, in that friendly game that they played at Accra Sports Stadium. And you scored.
Yes.
It means that you're still scoring. Hearts of Oak needs a striker. Why are you here?
You know, sometimes, I don't know, but let me put it this way. If Ghanaians can have patience with some of our players coming, maybe the young ones that they are still in the team. I mean, they should never force any player to retire. Our attitude and sometimes the way we do our things makes some of the players that have sacrificed for Ghana feel like, I mean, they don't need, the country doesn't need them. But it's not so. Maybe it's because of maybe the pressure and disappointment with maybe the fans wanting win and the win is not coming. But that shouldn't give them the edge to, I mean, always say bad things about players to retire.
Do you think that our players retire too early? Because you are 36.
Yes, of course.
Ronaldo is 37 to 38. He's still playing. We've had Paolo Maldini and co, who were almost 40. They were still playing. Ibrahimovic. They are all older players. They were still playing. Do you think we retire too early our stars?
Yeah, we do, because when you look at some couple of names that we all know that are not playing anymore with their quality that they have, that is why sometimes you are missing a lot of small little things on the field of play when it comes to the national team, because other countries make sure whoever is there that is a legend and is very good in the team, they don't consider the age as anything. They use that person, even if the person is not starting, will be at the bench to have a word to motivate the boys. And that is what makes most of the country, their teams go up, leaving way behind. Because when you check, I always do this example. I remember there was a Black Star game, we were losing whether 2 or 3, I've forgotten the country. And Stephen Appiah was part of the team, like the management team. I mean, the dressing room, he wasn't the coach, but when you see the kind of anger and the passion he spoke to the boys, they went there and won like 4 or 5 something. I've forgotten the scores, but the score line changed. So how come? Stephen is telling you that, I mean, even when he's speaking, you were a kid watching him, you were seeing him as a role model. So when these people are around the team, whatever they say, you will take it, because they are not saying it because they need money from you. They need nothing. They will just tell you the truth.
Will you go into coaching? Or you want to play a different role in football?
Yeah, I want to play a different role in football, because what I think I'm most, special on is, like, I feel like I've seen that I have that thing. I think an eye of seeing, a talent, like scouting. And apart from that too, strikers coach. I think there's something that I'm working on.
You're working on that. Let's come to your career. I mean, Hearts of Oak picked you up from when you were playing for Midtjylland. When you got into Hearts, who were some of the players who were there?
When I got to Hearts, I think some more, Emmanuel Sarkufo was there, Don Botte was there. I think Jojo Bosma was there. Joe Ansan was there. Ibn Dida. I like Joe.
Ismailado was still there?
No, I think Ismailado wasn't around.
Okay.
I didn't play with him. I think Charles Taylor too wasn't around.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was the time the transfer issue has come and he has moved to Kotoko.
Yeah.
Fresh. Yeah. So I think these are some of the players that, and Daniel Koma too, Pambreku, all of them were there.
How did you win that goal king in your first season?
I think the first season was being divided. I was a goalkeeper that one too, because I was a top scorer. I think I and some guy, he was playing for Heart of Lions at that time, because they have it Division 1. I think it was A and B and C or something, if you could remember. Yeah, so it was divided. So he was topping from the other side. I was also topping from the other side. But I think the following year they joined the league together, and I won the goal king.
And is it because it was just a case of you being prolific, or you were getting good services?
Okay, the truth is, I think those that know me from, I think, Medina to school days, inter schools, and before I even get to schools and all those things, you know, wherever I go, I'm a top scorer. So it's like, it wasn't because I came to Hearts and I was getting good supply. No, I think it was something that it was given to me by God, and I got to know it and I worked on it.
Which coach team did you play for?
Field Masters.
Field Masters
in Medina, but in the short way they call it FM.
FM.
Yeah.
And That's why you started winning your goal kings from that side, through school.
Yeah.
Which school?
I went to Koforidua sector.
And you were winning goal kings from inter schools.
Every time.
Everywhere you went to.
I went to zonals. I was the top scorer. I went to regionals. The same.
So when you hear things like, now Ghana lacks strikers, what runs through your mind?
System, because our days of time, I think they have a plan that every school, it's not about schooling alone. They have sports that they use at least 2 weeks for sports, whether government or private. And sometimes those who are very good, they pick them and they call it zonals. That is the beginning of your zone. When you are very good, they extend it to regionals. Basketball, both boys and girls, you understand? So you get to know some talent from day one, and you will see their progress. So from regionals, before you could hear, even when you hear something like academicals, national under 12, where were all those things? Those things was being, arranged well, and we're getting a whole lot of good players, because you can't come to the national team and you expect a coach to tell you that this is where you have to shoot at this particular area to score. You should have known it from day one. So that when Black Star is just, or the national team is just a place that when you get there, you are doing everything with the talent you have. Nobody is going to teach you anything. Just
how to trap a ball, how to shoot.
They are just going to polish you in one or your positioning and all that. But to score, it has to be from you. To give a good pass, to tackle, the work has to come from you.
So, after playing for Hearts of Oak, how many seasons did you play for Hearts of Oak?
I think 1.5.
1.5 seasons, and you won the Goal King. Then Saudi Arabia came with money. How much money did they come with?
I think it was 2 million euro for 1.5 year, like 18 months.
Were you excited to go?
Yes, of course.
So you saw money. That money was for you, or it was for the club?
Okay, that money, I think mine was half of it. Mine was 1 million.
It was 1 million
net, and 1 million was supposed to go to Accra House of Folk, Midland, Mighty Jet, and my coast club.
When you got that one, so you got that 1 million.
I got that 1 million, but at the end of the day, those who were behind the scene, Eto was the one who spotted me, and he was a friend to the president of Etihad, where Benzema is. So they came and we had the contract. So I think some little people around the contract has to get 250 out of my 1 million. So I didn't get all the 1 million, but I got almost like 75 or something.
Yeah, but Charlie was 750 from Tulu Mighty Jet all the way to Saudi. It was not small money.
Yeah, so I couldn't complain. I just thank God and move on.
So when you got to Saudi Arabia, people at that time were complaining about the level of football in Saudi Arabia compared to what it is today. What was the difference?
I think because social media was not that loud or popular like the way it's easy now. Because
we're talking 2005.
Yeah. 5, 6. I think at that time it wasn't that easy to notice everything that is going from how do you call it, the country, like their sports, what is going on. Like just right now, you want to know anything, you just go straight forward. So one thing that I know, I think when I was about to go to Etihad, there is a team called Mainz. I think Liverpool coach, he was the
FC
coach.
Mainz, in Germany.
Yeah, I think current Liverpool club was
coach
the one.
Mainz,
so he wanted me, and what happened was, like, the contract they want to give me was for me to come to Germany for 3 months. If I fit to the system, they will give me 3 years contract, and that comes with 300,000 euro, if I could remember. Yeah, that was it. So I think just after training at the Nations Cup, the next day will be the deadline for the registration. So they flew with private jet to Egypt, and they sat down with us, and they told me their offer and everything. So before I will go in for that offer, I have to make few calls and got some advice also from late Jordan Anabla. Yeah, so I made my mind that okay, I'll go in for the Saudi, work hard, and prove people wrong and come to Europe, because at that time people used to come to Saudi Arabia to retire. So I wanted to do the other way. Yeah. So I went there very young, and I was able to do that.
And when you got to Saudi, you went into which other clubs? Ittifaq?
Itihad.
Itihad. Now some of the clubs they confuse me. Ittifaq, Itihad,
No, but Itihad is one of the biggest clubs there, and that is where Benzema is around right now.
Are you surprised at what the Saudis are doing right now with football and the money involved? Are you surprised?
I'm not, because Saudi has already, like all the time, if you could check their record, Saudi always go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
If you checked, and
they produced the Desert Pele and Said Waran.
Yes. And when you check their history, Saudi Arabia league is tougher than most of the league in Asia. Not even Qatar, not even Dubai. Saudi league is very tough, but people doesn't know. I have witnessed like Abdade Kuma and Yaprekun, my senior man, and I think Atram, one of the big icon in Saudi, but people don't know. Very big.
So before you left for Saudi, people like Ablade, Atram, all of those guys had already been in Saudi.
No, but I think Abrade has left. But when I went,
they had been there already.
But when I went, I think Atram was there. He was the big name over there. But he was playing for Shabab. Shabab too is a very, very good club. And most of these teams, I think Abrade, how do you call it? Atram was able to score all the top teams in Saudi. So when I came, also I made sure I did the same. Because I think when we met with Atram scored and I scored. But we won. You understand? But he told me he would score too. And that time, the name Atram had, anything I do, I have to call him. And he will give me the advice, I have to call him. You understand? So I knew about Saudi that one day they would do something great. Because when you are there, they make sure you feel comfortable. You don't mix with a Muslim if you're a foreigner. They have a compound that they have everything there, like for family, like whether it's a place to relax, swimming pool. You will feel like you are in Europe, but it's a very big compound, fenced with a wall. And this kind of compound is only foreigners that stay there. The local Saudis doesn't stay there.
Do you think people go to Saudi, or for a footballer, if you're making a decision to where to go, as to where to go, do you look at the quality of play in that country, or you look at the amount of money you want to earn, and you look at your future? Or what informs your decision?
Okay, what made me took that decision was, at that time, I was trying to do something for myself. Like, I have a plan. In my mind, I know the kind of life I want to live. You understand? And I know the kind of support I want to give to my friends, like anybody that I feel I can help, or like I have a whole lot of things in my mind. So me choosing there, I knew it's going to be a topic, because last time I made an interview, I said, oh, I went to, how do you call it, Paris Saint-Germain. They wanted to sign me. I couldn't sign. I didn't sign because I wanted to take the goalkeeping in house, and people they didn't understand. You understand? But I know why, because there was a whole lot of things behind the contract. And apart from that too, at that moment I cannot leave us at that time, because it's almost getting to the end of the league. And this is a team that has helped me project my name and everything.
So you rejected Paris Saint-Germain?
I rejected it. And this thing that I said, I have evidence and people know. Abu Sundoko know. I mean, people, the team of, how do you call it, Dreams FT, right now, recently, the team, get them all know. So it's not like sometimes when you say something, because of people doesn't really know you, who you really are. they think maybe he's just saying something. They can check. The Newcastle player that, excuse me to say, died on the field. You remember him?
Yeah.
He was my mate. I was with him. That time it was just an academy. We played together. So when I saw him there, and that guy has been a forceful guy from day one. We know people, but sometimes when you say some things, people think like, oh, but the record is there, and we will not just come and say anything.
Again to the question, are you influenced by the money, or you are influenced by the fact that you are happy to go and play in a league like Saudi Arabia?
I think I was happy to leave Ghana with a mark, like my team with a mark, for a different career. I wasn't really moved with the money, or I mean, I was moved because I was happy I'm moving forward. And one thing that I know from day one as a footballer, you don't go chase for money. Your work will let the money change you. It's two things. So me, I knew this thing, that whatever I'm investing in, excuse me, house or whatsoever, I know definitely it will get to a time the teams that want you with the big money will be looking for you. Yeah. So I'm saying this from my course to half time, when I had that mentality before maybe I had the contract to Saudi Arabia.
So if, for example, a club comes from Saudi Arabia and a club comes from Germany, and the club from Saudi Arabia is giving you €1 million, and the club from Germany is giving you 150,000 euros, what is the consideration?
Come again.
If a club from Saudi Arabia is offering you €1 million, come and play in the Saudi league, and a club from Germany is offering you 150,000 euros, come and play in the German league, how do you make a choice?
The choice, I think this type of choice come individually, because this choice, whoever will try to, I mean, speak for everybody, it won't work. I mean, it should be individual. For me, I will check my background. I will check where I want to take my career, and I will go for Saudi Arabia. Reason why I did that, because my move to Saudi Arabia gave me a sound mind. So when I was in the national team, I was not worried. I was playing with a free mind, because whatever I want to do, I can do. I was not on any pressure.
So you chose it because it was your own choice.
Yes.
To go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that others go to Europe and go and retire in Saudi Arabia, but you did the opposite. Now you left Saudi Arabia and you came into Europe.
Yeah.
When you were leaving Saudi Arabia to Europe, how many seasons had you played in Saudi Arabia at the time?
It was only 2 seasons.
2 seasons. And you were top scorer.
1.5.
And you were top scorer there.
Yeah.
Why did you leave? You were making money, you were top scorer, you were doing well. Why did you leave?
What made me left was I wanted another new challenge. Why? Because when I was in Saudi, that was when I was being invited to the national team. So my first game I played with Blaster was Libya in Kumasi, the World Cup qualification. I think I was being called because Matamwa had injury.
Yeah.
So I was not part of the team. I was already in Ghana for my holidays. I mean, relaxing. So I was being called on Tuesday, and I have to report at the airport the next day, Wednesday. And the game is just weekend. So I just joined the team. I think when we went to Kumasi, throughout the training and everything, they chose me to start, and I got my first goal. That made me stay in the team. So I was asking myself, if I can play in Saudi Arabia and come to the national team and still be scoring, there's no difference between playing in Saudi and playing in Europe. What I believe the difference will be, if you are in Saudi, you have to be playing 90 minutes all the time. You can be in the biggest club in Europe or wherever. If you don't play and you are at the bench, somebody in Saudi is better than you.
How is the quality of football in Saudi compared to what is in Europe? When you came to Europe, did you struggle?
I think I struggled a little bit when I went to Europe, because their type of training, there are so many things that, excuse me say, I mean, Saudis will not really do when it comes to maybe pre-season, because In pre-season in Germany, we train 3 times a day. But in Saudi, maybe it can be 2. You understand? Yeah. So the high terms of training in Europe was a little bit more. So I was, even though I was fit, sometimes I was struggling with fitness. You understand? So I think a couple of 2 months, and I was okay.
You moved from Saudi to Hoffenheim.
I moved from Saudi
to Hoffenheim.
Yeah.
In Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
That contract to play in Hoffenheim didn't last.
Yeah.
How long were you in Hoffenheim for?
I was in Hoffenheim for, I think, 2 years. We signed for 3 years, but I was there for 1.5 years, and I used the half year for a loan to Partizan. That's where I was able to help them win the FA Cup and the league.
What happened? There were so many stories around Hoffenheim. At a point, there was a story about you having a heart problem, and that's the reason why that contract was abrogated. How true was that story?
It wasn't true. I think when I left Saudi and I got my visa to do the medicals and sign the contract, I went to Germany, did all the medicals, we signed, everybody was happy. I brought back my jersey home because they gave me like a week to come to Ghana and prepare and come back again. Yeah, so I was in Ghana, I've signed everything. That did my first medicals already.
Before you had passed the medicals?
Yes, and we signed the contract. So it was everywhere that, in 1 week I'll be going back. So I came to Ghana and I left. When I left, we went to pre-season. Just after the pre-season, when we came for the league to start, and they said four players have to go and do another medical, which it wasn't really making sense. So we went and we did, and they came out.
And the 4 players were included you?
Yeah.
And who else? Who are the other 3?
They are foreigners.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we came, they said, oh, my document shows that I have a little problem with my hand. So when it happened, so instead of the club to contact my management or my agent, they just went ahead and just published Prince Tego have a heart problem and the contract has been cancelled. So immediately my agent contacted a lawyer there, and the lawyer called the club, and the rules and the regulation, what he said, they just came back to announce that the contract has been reversed, but they are doing investigation within an hour. So there we had the feeling that there was something fishy somewhere. So we were so smart that we went to Austria. This woman is the best woman in the whole world. So we went there to do our medical, and the woman was surprised. So we kept all the information, and we went to another person too in Düsseldorf. We did the same thing and we kept it. So right now it is only Hoffenheim that said I have the problem. So they also have to prove. So the FA was saying, we are saying I'm okay. The club said I'm not okay. So they hold my license. So they said, okay, if that's the case, the German Federation is going to, get its own doctor to check on me, so that if everything is all right, they will give me the license. Already I was playing for the qualification for the World Cup, and I was scoring and all that. So we did that, and it came out that I have nothing. And they gave me my license, and I started playing, and I went to the World Cup.
So did Hoffenheim compensate you?
I think at that time, I don't know, at that time there were so many decisions, whether to leave the club, like to do so many things, but I was young at that time, and my aim was to play football. I don't want to have any encounter with any management but
they almost ruined your career.
Yeah, I believed my agent and my manager at that time, they would have solved those things out. I just didn't want to put, because they really threatened them with so many things. But I don't know how it went. But I know at the end of the day, I was able to, rescue the club. One of the game, if we lost, we are going to relegation, and we're losing by 1, playing with Frankfurt. I came on in the 80th minute. I came to score 2, and that's score before the league ended. So I mean, I was happy. I was there. I did what I have to do. I know I'm innocent. I have nothing to worry.
So the doctor actually.
So when it happened, the manager of the club was sacked.
So there was a possibility that the doctor and the manager did something.
100%.
Fake report.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. So you left Hoffenheim after 1.5 years.
Yeah, and
you headed where?
To Partizan.
Partizan
Belgrade. I think their striker left to China, so they wanted to finish the league, and they were second. So I went, and I went there with my brother. I think Dominic Adia.
Yeah.
We were all there. So by God's grace, I was able to achieve what, I mean, the first striker left. What they want was the league and the FA Cup. And what they also want more is to always beat Red Star, because it's
rivals.
Yeah, so I was able to score them 2 times, whether the league or the FA, and I was able to score.
But that was a loan move.
It was a loan move.
Why didn't they make it permanent?
No, the contract was like, I'm going to Partizan for 6 months. After, they want to buy me outright. So the amount that was put in the contract was 500,000 euro. When I finished the league, took the FA, and they were hearing every weekend I'm scoring. Now the people want to buy me outright. Hoffenheim raised the money to 1 million.
Wow.
So I couldn't go.
And Partizan said no, they can't pay.
Their budget wouldn't read there, because the 1 million they are talking is net.
So that's minus
so let's say like 2 million.
Yeah.
Because if it was 500, I think maybe it's 1 million. So with the net and everything, it will. I mean, because tax. So 500 is 1 million.
Yeah.
But right now they are asking for 1 million.
So you left Partizan and went to where?
So from Partizan, I think I went to Turkey. I went to US, Seattle Sounders, in Washington. They wanted to sign me, but it was a German coach that saw me. They wanted to sign me, but I think the offer was coming with only salary without signing on fee, and I thought it wasn't that good for me. So I mean, a club from Turkey came, Bursaspor, came with a good offer that I thought it was a bit okay, and I went to Turkey.
Did you ever regret leaving Saudi Arabia completely into Europe? Did you ever regret that if you had stayed in Saudi Arabia, you could have probably been the next Atram, or you'd have been the kingpin in the Saudi League?
I really do. I really do regret sometimes, because, like I said, some of the players that when I got to Asia, you know, when I got to, Saudi, they were mentioning names like Yaprekun, Atram, Abradikuma, what they've done there. And lucky for me, I was able to play, some season with Atram. So I know the kind of player he is. Remember, I told you I played in Dubai too. I went to Dubai for 1 year, El Shabab. Right now, they've joined the team. I think they won the league last year.
Right.
I was there for 1 year. I was top scorer, and everything was okay. So sometimes I feel like maybe that was the land I have to be. But you know, sometimes you also want more challenge. Unless maybe you are comfort at your zone, but I wanted to do more.
You think you were not properly advised?
I was advised, but I think it was a personal decision. Personal. Because when I went to Dubai, a name like Polo was mentioned, and a name like how do you call it, Ahmed, that is Polo's junior brother, Otoma, like, and Baba Mando.
Yeah,
I played the same team with Baba Mando. The team I played. So when I went to the club, Baba Mando his name was already there.
Yeah.
So I look at these people, and I also did. And I think later on, as someone who has experienced the kind of love that Asian people have, if they want to do something for you. So, I don't think I moved and I regretted, but at the end of the day, life still goes on.
Did you make a lot of money from football?
I think so.
You made money?
Yeah.
Total of about what? $10 million? $20 million?
Oh, Not really. It will not reach, but at least something reasonable.
You don't want family members to queue up in your house. But at present, are you okay financially? Are you all right?
Oh yeah. You know, sometimes in life, it comes with a whole lot of things, ups and downs, and one or two things. But I believe like when people know you, from where you are coming from, the family you are in, who you are personally, the kind of heart you have for human being, there are certain things when it comes, you just let it go. Because I believe those that know me, and we are all in Ghana. I saw Stinapia, I saw ACN, I saw Sule when I was coming up. You understand? And now we have new era. So there are certain things that I have seen. Is now people are experiencing it, but just say some of us we don't talk.
Did you make some good investments?
I think
because footballers, everybody knows you for flashy things. When you make money, you're looking at buying some wild car, buying this, buying that, flashy stuff. Did you make some good investments? Because I know, for example, that you had a couple of properties in East Legon and all of that. But did you make some good investments?
I think what I did was, like, when I was in Koforidua sector, I did building and construction at school. So my aim and my everything was only into building. So no matter how I go about it or I did, I was able to do whatever I have to do. You understand that? I mean, brings in something. But like I said, sometimes it's not everything that you have to voice it out.
Yeah.
But I think what the school I went, what I learned, I've used that idea to do something.
Do you think you become a better person now than you were before?
I can say both. Because like I told you, when I was coming up, I had so many things to deal with. I was able to deal with it. Now I have less pressure and I'm okay. You understand? But I want to do more. It's different from you are not doing anything. You understand?
Yeah.
Just that you have to know that this is the second half of your life. Okay, what am I going to do with the rest of it? The first one, you've been able to do something very good. Okay, so next one, then you have to learn about certain things, skill you don't have, to attach to what you have.
When you guys were playing, I mean, you saw some of your older players who had made so much money and had lost so much money, and some would come to you and advise you to invest and all of that. Did you listen to some of those conversations?
Yeah, I did. That is why I told you that. Excuse me, when I was playing, most of my money went into building. Most of my money. Before I bought my first car, I think I already have about 2-story buildings in East Legon. So I didn't buy a car before. I went for those things. Yeah.
If you look at recently, I also recognize that recently you lost your dad. He's been one of the pillars of your life. You lost your dad. How have you managed life without him? An old soldier, I know.
Yeah, he was the national team doctor because he was a military nurse. He has been traveling with the national team a lot, and also he was a personal doctor to Mohamed Polo. So I think all this Prince of Ghosts and all this thing came from the hard work he did, and because he loves football, and just God gave me that blessing to make him happy. At least he was happy I went to the World Cup. One of his biggest joy, and he always say that I've been able to put that name on the map. So I've missed him, but whatever he said, I was able to follow it, and he was happy.
Was going to the World Cup your highest point in your career?
Most definitely, because every player, your dream, your aim, it's just like going to school. If you go to the university, I think that's the topmost for the time that I know. But I don't know any other school. Maybe if you want to do your master's, you can go further. But I know from primary. Everybody wants to go to university. I see football as going to the World Cup is the top most. But after the World Cup, there's nothing.
If that is your highest, what has been your lowest moment?
My lowest moment. Asen, please come again.
What has been your lowest moment in your career as a player? I mean, you're talking about the World Cup being the highest moment for you. You were able to achieve going to the World Cup. It was the dream of every player to play. Your lowest moment could probably come from something you did that you thought it took you down, and you had to fight up back again.
Oh yeah, I think that was National Under 17. I think I had this experience. I mean, we were being selected going to Kenya for a tournament. You know how when you start from school days, I mean, you are craving for national team.
Yeah.
And the most adorable team at that time, everybody wants to play the Under 17 because I mean they went so far to get the World Cup that we heard about it. We saw some of the players also, I mean, saying things about it. The team was being selected. We were about 40 players, but the team was selected, and we were about 18. And I think we have to go to Kenya. At that moment, they gave us all our suits and bus and everything. I was part of the team. When we were about to go, the bus came. There was a noise, like slight talking between the management, and they said they can't find my passport.
Yeah.
So I can't travel.
They can't find your passport.
Yeah.
How? Everybody else's passport was there. You alone.
The 18, everybody.
You alone.
Yeah.
They can't find your passport.
And we are going to the airport too. I have my luggage, I have my everything. Even some of the boys are already in the car, in the bus.
So what happened?
So what happened was like, okay, Prince, we are sorry. We'll get you home, and on Wednesday, I'll let somebody who bring you to Kenya.
Who gave you that information? Who told you that?
You want to know the head coach at that time?
Which year was that?
Oh, I think before Hassel. Because this
who was the head coach then?
It was Salastete.
Bobo?
Yeah, Liberty.
Okay.
Yeah, so when they said that, I said okay. So I have to go back home. I got home, I got sick. I didn't want to play football again. My dad came, I think, in 4 days' time from US. So when he came and they told him this is what happened, he was the one that sat me down. That I will make it, so I should forget about it. So on Wednesday, when I was supposed to go, there was a player that I think Liberty wants. I don't want to mention his name. He was part with us, but he was not part of the team. So the players they were waiting to see me come to Kenya because friendly games, everything I was scoring. Even the radio station were mentioning my name and all that. So when they heard I was not part of the team, they were shocked. They took another player on Wednesday to go. So when the player got there, they were all surprised. Is it not Prince that has to come? But they went and they lost, and they came back to Ghana, and I was called back to the national team.
Did you go?
I went. And the game was at Obuasi. I was the one who created the first penalty, and I spoiled it.
Deliberately?
No, I wanted to score, to prove a point. So I mean, we were already out of the tournament, but I just wanted to prove a point, and the goal couldn't come. So from there, and I moved forward with Mighty Jets.
Wow.
That's the story.
That was your lowest moment.
Yeah.
You'd have been you were disappointed.
Yeah. I nearly stopped playing football.
Wow.
Malaria, mommy, you don't know what else.
Malaria, mommy, don't you got trouble there, though?
I say football. No, I'm not playing.
You won't play again.
No.
Bless the soul of your dad for encouraging you to play.
They gave us like 1 hour. Like go out and go and call your parents and let them know you've been selected going. Like at those times, it was space to space.
Yeah.
The booth, you can't. So you have to go out and I called home.
Excited.
Yeah, I'm part of the team. So I'm going. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Then here you are back home.
With your, not that you are back home, but you are back home with your Ghana national team bag, your jerseys, your everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you suspect anything fishy?
I did. But at that time, you know, I'm somebody that I'm a very quiet person, but those who know me know I'm very smart. I don't talk. Yeah, but I know, but at the end of the day, who are you to speak?
What do you think happened?
The thing was like, there was a player that needed to be signed to, how do you call it, Liberty at that time. And the only way was, I mean, to find a way for the player have the belief that we can take care of you. If you accept our offer, we will let you be in the national team. And this thing has to stop. That's what most players, sometimes they say bitter things when they are no more in the national team.
You think it's still happening?
It's happening. Some of the treatment they get, you understand?
Yeah.
Sometimes they worry. But I just thank God that whoever did that, and the coach was like he was the head coach, he would know better whatever happened. You understand? And I was happy too that when I was in the national team and I was at my peak, he was my coach. Grassport Stadium lost, it would have been hell for him. I was able to rescue him. And he came to my room and said, "Prince, this is your fault. Across the folk, you score a lot of goals here. I know you know here. They said I've taken money from you. That's why I'm feeding you. But it's never true. I knew you from under 17. You've been scoring. Make sure we win this game." I scored. Sule also scored. We won. But I know he was shy, but I can't tell him in his face that you nearly let me stop playing football.
Yeah.
But I let it go.
If you look at the call-ups to national teams today, do you think that some of these things are still continuing?
Yeah. That's why we have one, or say, I've forgotten his name. I think he was part of Dominica Dia, the under 17.
Ransford Osei.
Yeah, like we have boys that have gone through pain. There's one guy, not that maybe he's my fan or I like him. I read a little bit story about him, follow him. Yate, something Yate, he's a left footer.
Yeah.
Fantastic player. He was dropped for no reason, but he's in Europe. He doesn't care about the national team, making his money, still playing good. I'm not hyping him, but it's as an example that I've been through with certain people that I know. So sometimes you will never know the kind of player that is going to help you in the near future. Everybody has to be treated equally, whether poor or rich. Having rich manager or somebody having a poor manager, all those things have to stop.
Currently, do you have any players you are managing?
Right now, I have some few that I've spotted and I'm talking to. The old team that I played, like the Saudi teams I played, the Dubai, Partizan, Hoffenheim, and I'll soon get a green light to whether to let them come or, I mean, that is what I'm working on it now, to help, I mean, young players, not to do an academy, but to be somebody that I can scout, somebody that if there's a game I can travel to go and see.
Wouldn't you like to go into contests, for example, for one day, FA management member, FA president, FA? You don't have any ambition like that?
No, not really. No.
How do you rate Keto Kreku's 4 years in the last?
Well, to be honest, from me being afar and part of the team and what I've seen, I think the league before was, I mean, was just a one-way style. But I mean, few that I've noticed, I mean, like when it was final, there are certain things that you see the Europeans does, I mean, they are putting in place. I mean, the FA Cup, I've seen some little changes. Before, it wasn't really like that. you know, everybody has his good and bad. I mean, some few companies trying to sponsor the league. Before, I mean, we don't really see ABC. Even that one is personal club, something like Accra Suffolk. We have ABC, if you could remember. Something like Ariba. Yeah, so good things can happen. And everybody have an idea. The people that are even contesting, they also have their plan. But I mean, my problem is when you promise, I want to use 4 years to do something, it's a promise to the people. So the people want to see. We've seen some going to the World Cup is not easy. You understand? But so if you have been a president and you've been able to, I mean, qualify Ghana, I mean, you've been there and the players have done well to go to the World Cup, it's a plus. But the Ghanaians need more. So I'm not going to vote. We have people that will vote. Whoever they will choose, whatever plan the person put in place, make sure it should be accomplished. If you see Senegal, their coach, and you see the kind of plan he had and what he has won for the country, and you see Ghana also, the plans we have and what we are struggling to, is a lesson we have to change our ways. Maybe our ways of calling players, our ways of dealing with player management. Because if somebody's player is, the manager is poor, say they don't take him serious. But that player will be somebody who can be a hero for Ghana to help the country. That is how God does his thing. So it's not everything is about money. Because with the senior players that I know, none of them come from a rich family. From Stephen ACN, Sule. I mean, none of them. But see what God is doing. But now they've changed the system.
Are you a man of faith?
Very.
You are a Christian?
Yeah, my mom is a pastor.
Your mom, but the fact that your mom is a pastor doesn't mean that you.
So she introduced me to Christianity.
Will you become a pastor one day?
It depends, because some of us, things that happens, we do see before.
You see before?
Yeah.
So you're able to see before it happens?
Yeah.
So you have the gift of prophecy?
But I don't say example like...
But you have just said it.
Example like me being in the national team, whoever know me knows that I've been saying this thing from day one. But that is close friends of me. Me being in the national team, the time I dreamt playing football with Stephen Appiah and ACN, I just saw them in a dream. And it came to happen. Sometimes if I will score in the national team, I do see my dream before. So I know. But me being a pastor, I don't know. But I'm just telling you my experience when it comes to football. So I just don't do anything anyhow. And whatever I use my energy to support, purely from my heart, without even, and me, that is how I am. If I'm doing something and I'm helping somebody, trust me, it will end somewhere. Those who really know me.
You have a serious passion for music as well. Is it something you're looking at one day? Perhaps you feature on some album? Because I remember when you worked with Prayer and all of those guys. I mean, the Angelina album, you actually produced that album for Prayer and all that. You've produced for a couple of artists. I mean, you supported a lot of artists in this country. What is it about your passion for music?
I think that passion came from my dad. He loves music so much, but I got to have that passion more when I went to Koforidua Secretariat. When it gets to entertainment, I see different things. So I know a good musician and I know a bad one. You understand? Because at that place, the difference is they will not allow you to come to the stage and play maybe that is Lumba's song and you sing along. Koforidua Secretariat, they don't do that. At that time, they make sure you go and bring your own beat, do something with yourself. And somebody like Kofi Nti and I mean Wuta Kobe them, I mean they will tell you we have great talent. When Koforidua Secretariat, when they talk about music, especially.
Why didn't you do music?
It wasn't my thing, but I just love it.
Is it something you are considering one day you may release an album?
No.
You have a good voice?
No. I don't have. My own is to just
support.
Yeah, and just enjoy.
I know you're a good philanthropist. You do a lot of support things for people.
Yeah.
But in terms of the music, I mean, I worked with you directly when you worked with Prayer at the time. Is there any young other artists you are looking to help? I know people like Stoneboy and Co are all your guys. I mean, you've done stuff with all of them. But are you looking for some young artists to support?
Oh, I think there's this new young boy. I saw something in him that, I mean, in future, very soon, maybe by next year, maybe Ghanaians will get to know him. It's called King Junior. Yeah, he's a very good guy. I mean, I didn't spot him. He was spotted by an high profile. That is my very good friend, Popcorn, the Jamaican artist.
Yeah.
He was, I mean, when he came to Ghana, I was like, Prince, do you know this guy? I said, I don't know. He showed me his IG. So I watched the boy and I checked. And he said, oh, can you invite him over? So I made the boy came. They talked. He gave him inspirational words and told him he should work hard. He will be somebody. And when he left, he was like, Prince, make sure you take care of this boy. And the boy is doing good. But we are working underground.
Who's your favorite artist in Ghana? I'm putting you in trouble.
It's a lot.
So who are some of your favorite artists?
Oh yeah, I think Wale, Stoneboy, I mean Sarko, the Episode, Jupiter, Tiny. It's a lot to Rascook, like it's a lot to. You know, because of the way I am at that time, it's a lot.
With your hairstyle, are you into reggae, or this is just a style for?
Oh, I think if I should be playing, I don't think I'll keep it that long, because it would worry me. It's just because I'm not playing. I just feel to keep it.
So it means that there's a chance you could play in again.
It comes with motivation. You know the motivation.
I know, right? I know. Okay, so we have a few messages here. Let me see who is saying what. So Justice says he's watching us all the way in Tamale. He's happy with you. Somebody says, Atu says, please ask him his issue with the Black Star assistant coach with regards to him not selling a car. Okay, that's an issue that we won't speak about. The lowest point of Prince Tego's career with the national team was what happened when Black Meteors game at the Elwak Stadium, where he missed that glorious chance with his infamous Caesar kick. I cried that day. Remember?
You know, he doesn't really know me. I will give him a scenario and he will check. That infamous Caesar kick he's talking about, I had $50,000 for scoring that same goal in Saudi Arabia, and not just anybody. Firmino's team, Ali. You know, that's why I say people don't really know some of us. So when they talk, we just listen and we move on. I have the video. You want to finish, I'll give it to you.
Jamano Abu Salif says more fire. Thank you, Jamano, and thank you guys for watching. Well, it's time for us to be rounding up our conversation here with Prince, the Prince of Goals, Prince Tego. I mean, everybody knows Prince Tego. I mean, if you don't know Prince Tego, you're in this country, then you don't know football that much. So, Prince, before we let you go off finally, how's family doing anyway? Wife and kids?
Everybody is doing
How many
fine.
kids do you have now? Okay, I get that. Silence means consent. I get that. Some of those family issues must be private. I get that. Thank you so much. But we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We wish you the very best. I mean, in your scouting expedition, we want to wish you the very, very best. And hopefully, we'll see you doing exploits and then bringing in more scouts to Ghana to develop younger players to be able to step in your stead. I mean, you guys have showed us a lot of prolific goal-scoring abilities. And at the moment, Ghana is lacking a lot of strikers. In your time when you were goal king, how many goals did you score?
It was 18.
18 goals. Now 10, 12 goals, they are becoming goal kings in the whole Ghana Premier League. Charlie, what shy? Prince, thank you so much. Thank you very much for watching us. We're here again next week. Definitely, if you're here, just keep on watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, look out for the Fifi Banson TV channel. There are other things on the channel. I can also tell you that there's a big morning show called The Morning Coffee that is going to come on this platform every day from Monday to Friday. We'll give you more details on that. You keep on watching. You see a lot of things happening. He's going to talk about politics. There's a young man called Gerson Ato. What's his surname, bro? Okay, I forget. But I'll look for his surname. But he's called Gerson, and he's extremely good when it has to do with conversations in the morning. You just keep watching this channel. You find him very soon on the morning show, and then you'll be able to follow him all the way through. He's going to be on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, and everywhere. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel, Fifi Banson TV, and you'll find him there. Don't forget, Escapades is also showing on the channel every Saturday from 6 to 6:30 p.m. It's a series you don't want to miss. It's also on the channel. Thank you so much for watching us. We'll be back again. Have a good afternoon.
Beautiful women. The mommy's boy.
Hello, Ma. Can you imagine the junk Dorcas made me for breakfast? Do you know the ratio of men to women in Ghana? It is 1 man to every 6 women.
The faithful married man.
This is your 40th birthday. You just need to let your hair down and have some fun.
I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you. I will not cheat on my wife.
The annoying ex-husband.
I want to see my son.
Elam is already in school. You'll see him over the weekend. Now go.
My wife here is a good cook.
Ex-wife.
You must be Elam's father.
ABN presents Escapade.
Next time you're sent on an adult job, drop your diapers and bring back an adult results.
Escapades. The real stories begins on Fifi Banson TV.
Ela ninguém manja Jesus ni manja. Mi be paleo.